guys, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. I'm so glad that you have joined us here tonight. We have another great show for you guys, and I want to thank you for coming back and supporting us all this time, and also for your comments, your thoughts, your likes, and all that great stuff. Also, if you're watching us on the replay, thank you so much. 1 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m., 12 noon, 12 midnight, or whenever you choose to watch us. Thank you so much for making the choice to have Inspiration for Your Life a daily part of your day and part of your mental and diet to keep you on track and achieving your goals. Let's get into our master topic, shall we, everyone? Here we go. It is how to tap into your creativity. Series 2, Show 20, episode number 4. So Series 2 means we're in our second year. We're on our 20th show. We're in the 4th episode. It's great to be with you guys. We start on a Saturday with a brand new master topic, and we roll all the way through the week, and we finish up on a Friday. All right, let's get into what today's master topic is specifically. So an imagination building exercise. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, and we said that when you get your mind to be able to control things such as pictures, images. For example, let's say there is a cork board in your head. Just picture a cork board. Okay. I want you to picture a red, an orange, a yellow, a green, and a blue. Let's call it push pin. Okay, so you have your red, your orange, your yellow, your green, and your blue. And taking a look at that, now I want you to take a piece of string in your mind, and I want you to tie it to the orange, but I want you to move the orange one just about an inch or two to the right of where the red one is, right? And tie a little string, okay? Now what I want you to do in the next one, actually, so you got your red, get your orange, and I want you to take the yellow one. I want you to put that one 2 inches down from the other one that you just tied the red one. Take a string and tie it to that. Now, so you got your red, right? You got your orange, you got yellow. Okay, so you got your red, your orange, your yellow. Now take the green one, and I want you to move it 2 inches to the right again. Tie a string, go from that. And now, take the blue one, put on top, and tie a string there. So what we did is we just kind of played with our mind. And the more we can do these kinds of exercises, the stronger our brain, our mind will become. Now, you might think this is just a silly exercise, but actually it isn't. It's an exercise to help build our brain cognition. And so a lot of people think that it's wasted to exercise our mind. It's not. It's the difference between whether your mind will have mental agility or whether you're going to be fighting to be able to be creative. Now, everyone has creative genes. It's just that they don't practice how to use them. Behind me is a beautiful oil painting, right? Let's just imagine for a moment in that painting. Let's imagine that there was a great big, I don't know, right in the middle of the lake. Let's say there was a great big 24-foot boat, okay, in the middle of that painting. Can you imagine that? It wouldn't really fit, but you could imagine it. Now, on that boat, I want you to pretend that there was actually a 12-foot CB antenna on the right side, because on boats, we always drive on the right side. Picture that going up, a big white pole. All right, now what I want you to imagine, so I want you to imagine that your boat is stuck, unfortunately, and that you need help. So I want you to go down into the cockpit of the boat. I want you to take out the safety flares. I want you to open them up, and I want you to uncap them, go away from anybody else, make sure no one's around you. I want you to take the safety off, and I want you to point it far away from you. And then I want you to imagine pulling that trigger. And as you pull the trigger, you're going to feel it. You're going to see it as that cloud of smoke goes out, trying to get you help. Now, a lot of times when we use our imagination, we're trying to create a picture in our mind, like that picture behind us, that oil painting. Maybe you've gone bicycling before. Let's imagine that the bike, instead of having two wheels, had four wheels. So two wheels in the front, okay, two wheels in the back. All right. Now let's imagine that when you spin the wheels with your pedal, it's going to cause the wheels to create an amazing rainbows. They're just going to like kind of just push right out of the right and out of the left of the front of the bike. Pretty cool, right? So that sounds pretty interesting. But you know what's even more interesting? Our heart-brain connection. Now you might be saying to me, hey, John, what the heck? What is a heart-brain connection? Well, it's part of our autonomic nervous system. And what happens is our heart brain connection has the ability to do so many amazing things. Okay. I mean, quite a few things it can do for us. But the catch is we have to be able to play with our brain. So there have been lots of journals written about the heart brain connection. We know, ladies and gentlemen, that there are more, let's say, connections, nerve going from transmission lines going from the heart to the brain than the brain going to the heart. So that means the heart sends out more data and the brain sends out. The heart is our second brain. Did you know that? The heart is our second brain. Let me say that again. The heart is our second brain. And when we say the heart is our second brain, it has intrinsic cardiac properties in the nervous system. And it's composed of approximately 40,000 neurons that are like neurons in the brain, meaning that the heart has its own nervous system. How cool is that? All right. So you might be saying, John, why is the heart considered the second brain? Our heart possesses, as I said, the 40,000 neurons. And these thousands of neurons are also called the main reason why we call the heart intelligent, because it's able to process information for us back and forth. And so our heart has its own brain. The second brain, for, if you will, think of intuitive type communication. Okay. When we think about our brain and our heart, okay, the interesting thing about the second brain is that it does some amazing things. Okay, now you might be saying to me, John, well, what does the heart do for me? It keeps me alive. I get it. But what I want to share with you is manifestation doesn't happen first with our brain. Now, a lot of people say it does, but it doesn't. When we think of a thought, we can have some impact. But when we feel a thought, which happens with our heart, that's when we put manifestation into high power. So your heart is the center of your body that handles creating and managing and receiving feelings. That's pretty cool, right? And so many of you listening tonight are saying, John, how is the brain? I should say, how is the heart a brain? And I know I didn't tell you guys this tonight. But if you're watching us, just take your smartphone, scan the QR code, and that'll direct you over to my link tree. If you're not watching us and you're listening on one of the podcasts, then just go to believemeachieve.com and you'll get connected to my link tree with more great information to improve the quality of your life. So the brain controls the heart directly through the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches of the autonomic nervous system. Okay. But the heart actually feels emotions. That's pretty wild. So, who controls the heart? The autonomic nervous system, or the ANS, is the component of the peripheral nervous system that controls the cardiac muscle, contraction, visceral activities, and glandular functions of the body. Now, you might be asking the question, hey, John, why do our hearts hurt when we're sad? Stress from grief can flood the body with lots of hormones, specifically cortisol, which can give us that achy feeling you get in your chest. And that happens when you're sad or something doesn't go the way you want. So that means that the chemicals, natural chemicals in our body, affect us. Now, you might be saying to me, hey, John, this is a little out there. I know it's out there. But we've learned that in order to be someone who manifests, we need to get a hold of our heart brain connection. The heart is what feels. Okay. Uh, I'm going to tell you an interesting story. So there was this person many years ago that had went in for a transplant. I think it was a teenager, and the person had gotten a transplant from another teenager that was probably a little bit a little bit older, maybe a year or two, and the person had passed away in a car accident. So they had this transplant, and after the transplant went through, I'm going to call the person Brian. That's not the person's name. The parents said, "Is there anything we could do for you?" He says, "Yeah, I have a craving for Kentucky Fried Chicken." And they were just like, "What?" I have a craving for fried chicken. They're like, "But you never eat fried chicken." I know, but all of a sudden I have this craving for one. So the parents thought this was interesting, but they got them in the fried chicken. And the next day, the donor's parents had checked in to see how he was doing and all that stuff. And the parents were there, and the mom says, "I have a question for you if I can." She's like, "Yeah." And let's call the other person Ryan. Did Ryan like fried chicken? She's like, "Oh my gosh." She says, "That's all he would eat is fried chicken." So, what this means is that when this heart was put into the other person, Brian was actually living with the heart. I think that's amazing. And so he started acting in ways that heart reacted in him. And so it's another story I want to share with you. It was a story about a girl who probably was an older teenager, almost 20. And she um, had this person that was chasing her. And she just couldn't like live her life. And unfortunately, something bad happened where that person had taken her life. And you might say, gee, that's terrible. And it is. But here's the good part of the story. There was another teen that was about the same age as her that needed a transplant. And they used her heart. And after the surgery and everything went well, she kept having these like thoughts and disturbing dreams that were very scary, like somebody was chasing her. And they figured it was just something she would, outgrow. But then it kept continuing. So they decided to bring her to a psychologist so they could see if they could help her. And so he started, telling her about the dreams. He says, "Could you sketch something out?" And then she says, "There's this person. This person just keeps trying to get after me, and I keep trying to get away." And the psychologist said, "Do you know what that person looks like?" He's like, Yeah. Could you draw a picture?" And they did. So these dreams that kept happening finally caused her parents to take her to a psychologist, and she drew the picture out. And you know what they did next with that picture? They brought that to a local law enforcement agency, and they were able to get a positive identification of the person that took the other girl's life. And so the heart, even though the life had ended, the memory was still in the heart. And when it went into another body, they were able to, if you will call it karma, whatever you want to call it, take the data. Now, stalker, killer, whatever you want to call them, they never would have believed in a million years that after this person's life was taken, that they would have been positively ID'd. And it was like impossible. And when they heard how this happened, they still were stunned. But this transplant, this girl got this heart for a reason. And the reason wasn't just to keep her alive, it was to help fulfill the prophecy to get even so they could go after this person and get them off the street. I think that's wild. So our heart and brain are extremely powerful. I mean, they are so powerful. When we start to realize that creativity has to be a feeling, our heart gets involved. And that feeling just allows us to connect to so many different parts of the body as well as the world. So creativity needs to be a feeling. And when it is, the possibilities are endless. Look at what happened in those two stories that I told you about. I think that's wild. Now, I didn't make that up. These are true stories. The heart keeps memories. The heart creates energy. Okay. The heart creates energy in our world. And that energy has the potential to affect other things. I think that is just wild. We got much more to share with you guys. I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's been a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to be with you this fantastic evening here on a Tuesday night, May 16th. I hope you'll like, love, support the channel. Definitely comment below. Tag your friends, colleagues, and associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. Go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MRLY Space Serial Entrepreneur. Look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. Make a choice, ladies and gentlemen, to buy my team and I a cup of coffee, a bowl of fruit, or perhaps a savory dessert plate. Either way, we're going to be grateful for those pennies and dollars. We'll invest into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping motivational content to empower you to change your life, to become an even better person than you are now. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you real soon. Be well.